At the 15, he's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown!
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.
Welcome back to another edition of the Jake Nulph Show here at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake. This one's got a different feel. It's after a win, Coach.
Yes.
Road wins are not a given in this league, so regardless of opponent, regardless of location, you take them when you can get them, and an all-around, very impressive 23-13 road win at Bloom. A win that you desperately needed.
Yeah, we definitely need to get in the win column.
And things that we talked about, coincidentally enough, come to fruition, and all of a sudden you've got more points on your side of the scoreboard.
Yeah, it was a great road win for our football team, and as you mentioned, it was a balanced win. As a staff, we're very happy with how we played in all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams. And, you know, when you win games, Joe, you get awards. So, you know, internally for everybody watching the Jake Nulph Show, this is actually the first time in our 2 years here, Joe, that I'm going to announce our team awards so that everybody can, you know, at home can follow along. But, you know, offensive player of the game for us was Mike Watkins. You know, Mike had 9 catches for 108 yards. He had 1 touchdown. He had 1 rush for 7 yards. He led our offense with what Coach DeMeo calls mad points. He had 49 of those, but 5 of Mike's catches, Joe, were first down conversions. He had 4 on third down and 1 on fourth down, which kept the sticks going, which is, you know, such a vital part. And, you know, we'll get to our third down success here in a minute. Defensive player of the game was Ty Thornton. Ty had 18 production points. He had 9 tackles, 1.5 tackles for a loss. And then special teams player of the week, who was also special teams player of the week in the PSAC, was Reed Martin. He had 3 punts for 126 yards, average of 42 a clip. And then he had the 5th longest field goal in Edinboro history with a 48-yarder that put us up at half. And when we got up, we stayed up, which was awesome. On top of that, we do scout players of the week because the looks we get in practice are just that important. We couldn't do our jobs on Saturdays with our scout players. So defensive scout player of the week was Jaden Resch. Offensive scout player of the week was Isaiah Greer. And special teams scout player of the week was Gabe Fisher. So those guys did a tremendous job giving us looks all week. And honestly, you know, it showed up on Saturday with our success.
Certainly, you know, you talk about success, and there's lots of hidden things that, you know, make you successful that might not, you know, be what the fantasy football, you know, lovers would like. 39-10 to 20-50 in time of possession.
Yeah, when you can have that. When you have the ball for 39 minutes.
That's good things are generally going to happen. Yeah. You know, you could, you know, give both your buddies high fives. Rich DeMeo's offense goes 12 and 19 on third down. Tony Papley's defense goes 1 for 9 on third down. Staying on the field, getting off the field. And maybe this is too simplistic of a question. That's an unbelievable win rate on third down.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you know, I think that, and we had talked about this last week, Joe. It's funny. You were asking me, when is Watkins and Bailey and Stanfield and those guys going to get going in the pass game? And I told you it was just a matter of time for Isaac to play quarterback, and coverage is going to dictate where he goes with the football. And those guys made plays for us on third down. But on top of that as well, our first down efficiency. You know, we put ourselves in situations to be successful.
Again, unofficially, I had you for 4, and I count a negative play as a loss or no gain.
Yep.
And I don't know how it's not too far off.
No.
But that's really, really good. If you were going to have 4 negative plays on first down a game for the remainder of the year, we're not going to be talking about too many losses.
No, and again, and that's just a credit to our group. The other impressive thing that you look at was this back-to-back weeks now, we have not given up a sack. And that's just a huge credit to our offensive line and running backs and tight ends and pass protection, allowing us the ability to get the ball downfield. And it was a balanced effort. The splash plays were there, you know, and that's something that we always talk about. And honestly, defensively, the timely turnovers and splash plays. I mean, we had 3 forced fumbles with Malcolm Johnson, C.J. Waldier, and Zach Malpica, maybe with the most timely of, you know, forced fumbles that allowed our offense to get the ball back. There was just a lot of really good things that we did on Saturday. in the run game, in the pass game, on defense, on special teams. Field position was certainly in our favor. We had a lot of what we call short fields, where if you're playing most of the game on their side of the field, then again statistics go up that you win.
Now our Mr. Hartog and I's keys to the game prior to were Trouble goes off, Ike sees and reacts, and defensive splash plays. Well, the one thing that we've not talked, Trouble was really good, and it's now, at first we just thought he was just a plant a foot and go guy, and then he was he'll run you over, but he has 29 carries. Now you can add bell cow into that 3 down back. A, how important was that? But B, again, I wish Coach DeMayo was here. I wonder when the last time, he's had a quarterback that starts 11 for 11. So, it was just so efficient. And then it was sort of got weird because we thought we were going to be in a track meet, and then all of a sudden the pace falls off, and then we're kind of in a slugfest. It was as perfect as it was. Then it got imperfect, and then sort of got back on the right foot again.
Yeah, that's the thing where we talked about the start, and it was something we had discussed all week in meetings, was whether we were starting on defense and the ability to have our kick cover unit go down and pin them deep, getting a 3 and out, or if it was our offense that was going to start, try to get some momentum with the kickoff return, and then go down and score. And we were fortunate enough we got the ball first, and we went right down on 11 plays and go up 7-0. So you had mentioned Isaac going 11 for 11 to start the football game. That was the start that we needed. And, again, his maturity and his growth, just the ability to take what the defense gives you and understanding coverages and where to go with the football. But there's also the ability to keep them clean, Joe. And, again, that starts up front with the offensive line with Nathaniel Ribis and everybody in that room. You had mentioned Brian Trobel going off for 104, and a lot of that was in the second half. Yeah. It was just a total team effort. We had mentioned all of the statistics and the hidden numbers. We were +1. That's the second week in a row when we were in the positive side of the turnover battle. It had the feel, you had mentioned, like maybe we were going to get in a track meet when it went 7-7. We kind of exchanged possessions, but we kicked the long field goal with no time on regulation. We go in the half at 10-7, and then I felt like we really took control of the game in the third quarter, and we took the air out of the ball. We had mentioned the time of possession and the ability to keep the sticks moving. When you're 12-19 on third down, that's just staying on track offensively, and sometimes it's not pretty, Joe. Everybody wants the 31-yard touchdown that we threw to Mike Watkins all the time and the vertical balls. But the 4, the 5, the 4, the 6, the 8, and then you get a splash play, that to me is just being very efficient.
Well, 27 first downs is a lot of first downs, quite frankly, when you only have 418 yards of offense. So it was just – and you talk about the time of possession, 39-10 to 20-50, 8 plays, 70 yards, 420. 4 plays, 21 yards, 25 seconds leads to a field goal. 11 plays, 55 yards, 439. 9 plays, 80 yards, 525. So you're talking extended plays, in time, and possession. And let's be honest, unfortunately, you know what it's like to be on the other side. That becomes demoralizing.
Absolutely. I felt that physically as a football team, we did a really good job of imposing our will. And, up front, it always starts in the trenches with the O and the D line. But then, like I said, the timely plays that we made, whether it was a vertical ball, whether it was, a violent collision where we're actually tackling somebody, putting our pads on them and forcing fumbles, there was just a lot of really good things there. And then the ability to flip the field in special teams and play that style of game where we're not going to give up the big play. We're going to make an offense try to drive it 80-plus on us. Or on the catch of that, pinning somebody deep, then giving ourselves an ability to return the football and give us a short porch on offense. It was, again, if you look at it, you go, oh, but it was a beautiful game for the fact that we did exactly what we wanted to do, and you get basically a 2-score win there on the road.
Yeah, 23-13, the final, certainly a big win. The other thing I wanted to ask, because I don't really think we've mentioned this, but I want to, because I think at this point it's not just something we ignore. I think this is a conversation we have to have. You lose Holslander, and Crooms has come in and been exceeded expectation.
No,
at left tackle, a guy that has virtually no experience at this level, and we've not noticed him, which is exactly what you want with your offensive line. When you don't notice them, that means they're doing their job.
Yeah, and that's a credit to Aaron. He's done a really good job. Unfortunately, he had an injury last season, which kept him out of the lineup. He did a tremendous job this summer in getting his body physically ready and then mentally understanding the offense. And he's taken advantage of the opportunity, Joe, and that's just such a huge credit to him. And we got a lot of guys right now that, we're heading into week 4. We've played 3 really physical style football games where I always say we don't play chess, Joe. We play football, and the injury thing is just a part of it. Next guy up mentality, as Coach Mike Tomlin would say, and our guys have done a really good job. Whether it's at quarterback, whether it's at offensive line, in the secondary, wherever, guys just step up, and it seems like we're not missing a beat, which is, again, a credit to them and how hard they work.
Yeah, certainly, Ike going for 294, 28 of 42. When you look at first time since 2018, you had 100 on the ground and 100 in the air with individual performances. Yeah. In a perfect world, obviously, you throw it 42 times and you rushed it.
28?
Or no. 30. I mean, you're almost 50-50.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You can't be too unhappy with that.
No, it's just the balance. Again, and understanding, there's some things, obviously, as a coaching staff and as a players, we have real conversations with our guys in these meetings and areas that we have to improve on. But timely plays, situational football, the ability to understand what the game is, we've done a much better job every week. We continue to work on it. And the balance part of that, when it was time for us to run the football, we ran the ball really effectively. When it was time that the pass game allowed itself to make plays, we made plays. And again, I think that's just our maturity. Think about it. We got a lot of starters back on the offensive side of the football from a year ago. The way we work, the way we approach our business, the way we practice, our attitude, just everything is night and day. You can tell that this group has been together now. We've matured, and we just continue to work. We call it hitting the reset button, Joe. No matter what, play the next play, be present, short memory, on to the next one. And you talk about a tremendous growth from the Duquesne game to now where we're sitting heading into week 4, and that's just a credit to our players and coaching staff.
All right, quick timeout. More to come here from Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake. It is the Jake Nulph Show. Special thanks to Bill Carell, the staff here, for making us so welcome. Quick timeout. Our man Mikey Watkins, when we come back, a monster game for the Whiteout from Florida. And then after that, we will have Coach Nulph jump back, and we'll get you ready for the Cal Vulcans. More to come here in the Jake Nulph Show from Charlie's Pub and Eatery.
At the 15, he's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown!
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.
Welcome back to the Jake Nulph Show, live here at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake in Edinburgh. Mike Watkins, player of the game, 9 catches, 108, a touchdown, a 31-yard touchdown reception at that. Mike, great game. Are you nervous to join us on the show?
Yes, sir.
Good, me too. Now, both of us, we're nervous. All right, just pretend you're running a vertical route on the sideline.
Yes, sir.
All right, you had, last year was a little quieter than the year before. The year before you had a bunch of big catches.
Yes, sir.
Bouncing back and forth the quarterback situation due to injury. Is this the jump off that you need to kind of get the 2021 feet back under you where you were the big play vertical threat that you were?
Yes, sir. I'm just getting back to who I was. I got hurt last year as well. Missed like 4 or 5 games. So now I'm just trying to get back comfortable, get back confident. And I think this past game is going to help me build.
Now, the one thing that is so unique is that you've got, 3 guys in yourself, Armani, Thad.
Yes, sir.
And then you have A-Hop, who's emerging as, I don't want to call him an H-back, because he will put his hand in the dirt, but he's almost become that fourth wide receiver. How much easier has it been for you guys when you've got a much bigger target that now seems to be getting out in space and gives you a lot better matchups on the other side of the football field?
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier. We got Thad, we got Armani, and then me at receiver, and then we got Hop. So it's hard for you like to just double one person when we got three guys that's running good routes, catching the ball, making plays, and then we got A-Hop. So it's hard to put two people on one person. So you have to play man. So, you can't just stay on one person.
Now, the one thing that is remarkably different from last year,
yes, sir,
the ability to run the football.
Yeah.
You guys are running the football, and that makes your world a lot easier.
Yes, sir.
I would imagine you're seeing a lot more man-to-man coverage than you have in years past.
Yes, sir.
How much easier does that make your life?
Man, last week I was hoping they didn't think they was gonna come out and just run man, but they still did it. So we made them pay for it.
Now, you are a guy that I'm always curious about. Not only are you from Florida,
yes, sir,
but you are from one of the premier high schools in Florida. What brought you here? I'm always curious. Coach Nulph must be a heck of a salesman. Doesn't snow much in Florida, right?
No, not at all.
So here you are. What's this experience been like?
It's been good. Everyone around here is nice. They treat us like family, like they've been knew me for years. Miss Danielle, I didn't even know her at first. And she was just, when I got hurt, she was just keeping me up, because
See, you're lucky she doesn't yell at you like she yells at me. So that there is some. That's a two-sided coin there. But anyway, so you come to Florida. What
brought me here?
Yeah, how did that go? Long way.
Coach DeMayo, he texted me on Twitter, and I was still looking for a school as well. So I guess me and my mom, we prayed about it. And then one day Coach DeMayo just texted me. I took that. I came on a visit here, and he was doing a tour with me. I liked it, how the dorms look. All the coaches was telling me things about the school, how we gonna run an offense. As a team, trying to build it up. First year, I came when they first started, so I was looking to build it up, help change the culture here.
Who are some of the guys that you played against in high school, perspective-wise? Because again, American Heritage is one of the premier programs in the country. Is there a guy that now you're like, yeah, I played against him in high school?
I wouldn't even say who I played against. It was who I went against in practice. I went against some guys in practice every day. DBs, Earl Little, he at Alabama. James Williams, he might go to the league this year. He played for Miami. He was a 5-star safety. Oronde Gasson, he was on my team. He just got hurt. He played at Syracuse. I played with some guys, so I also played against some guys as well.
And of course, your coach, Patrick Sertan, not
Coach
exactly
Pat,
a bum. He probably made a lot of money in the league. Played a long time. But how? Again, being a Florida kid, what's that transition been like? Obviously, when they told you it was cold, did you say sure, and then did you understand what they meant?
At first, I was just like, I know it'll be hot for a little while. I'll be cool until then. But the cold is kind of crazy for me. But I'm getting comfortable with it now.
All right.
I got used to it a little bit.
So obviously, you've got Cal up next.
Yes, sir.
Not that this win doesn't mean anything, or the previous losses don't mean anything. But now we're in the PSAC West play. These are the ones that really matter. You want rings. You got to win these football games. In terms of your preparation, we talked about where you're at and how things have developed. Where do you and your crew, the wide receivers, what do you guys need to get better on each and every week if you're going to keep stacking W's?
We just got to keep working on our routes. We got to keep getting to our depths. Some faster guys, we tend to shorten out routes sometimes. And I know I do, so that's what I work on when I'm in practice. I got a little better on it last week as we went against Bloomsburg. So that's what I've been working on. Us as a group, we've been working on. We work on blocking every day. So we getting better at that as well. We popping trouble. We know he like to bounce it outside, go for 90, 70. So we gonna be the ones that's gonna help him do that.
Well, if you keep having the balance that you had on Saturday, you're going to
Yes,
win a
sir.
lot more football games. Thank you for taking some time. Congratulations on the big performance, and now we expect this every week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Mike Watkins joining us. Coach Nulph will come back, get you ready for the Cal Vulcans. This is the Jake Nulph Show here at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake in Edinburgh.
At the 15, he's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown!
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.
Welcome back, Jake Nulph Show. Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake. The 1-1 Cal Vulcans come to Sox Harrison. Unfortunately for Cal, they were on the schedule for Alderson Broadus, so they did not get a Week 1 game. So you think Coach Dunn has a sense yet as to who they are with only 2 games under their belt?
Yeah, I think they do a really good job of being true to who they are, and that's a credit to Coach Dunn and his staff. I mean, they are a big play football team in all 3 phases. They feast or fathom on the blitz. So they are either, they're going to pin their ears back and come after you, and they're looking for the big negative plays on defense. Or on offense, they literally want to pop. I mean, if you look at Kutztown, you look at Shepherd, they've got a lot of big play touchdowns. So that's where they have tremendous skill. They are big and physical up front. And that, as far as their identity, Cal is Cal. I mean, like I said, Coach Dunn's been there since 2016, and he's done a tremendous job. I look at that as, they got their program, and when guys go, like take Noah Mitchell, for example.
Yeah.
He graduates. He had a tremendous career there at Cal. I don't know where he stands in their program, but I got to think he's probably top 5.
I mean, he started,
for 4 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that was sort of my question. They bring in the Davis Black kid.
Yeah, who wears number 5, by the way.
Who's a transfer, but he looks the part. I mean, he's
Yeah.
6'5", 230. They look like one another. The big play wide receiver is not there. They only have 2 games on film, so they've got a lot of guys to replace. In terms of your scouting, how different has that been for you? Because they are different, and that's 1 less game.
No, I think, ultimately, Cal's going to do what Cal does. They are going to run the football. They are going to try to use their speed and size on the perimeter to stretch you vertically and horizontally. And then on defense, like I said, they're going to give you some different looks and fronts, and they're going to pin their ears back and play a ton of man free and blitz you. They're not unlike Duquesne. Coach Dunn was the offensive coordinator at Duquesne before he showed up as head coach at Cal, so there's going to be some crossover for us there. And then their defensive identity is very similar to the one at Duquesne. So from a prep standpoint, it's good because there's a lot of strong similarities that we prepared for in Week 1 that now we're going to prepare for in Week 4. You mentioned the absence of Jackson at wideout. Well, insert Eric Willis. Man, I mean, he had 278.
Now they don't look the same.
No, they don't. As far as stature. But I'm telling you
Willis
this.
is a big play, but he's a little guy. He's got lost. He's got a lot of pop.
He's got go-go juice, Joe. I mean, he had 278, I think, this past on the receiving, and he's a big play threat. Their offensive line is big. They're physical. They do a really good job staying on their zone tracks, and then they'll gap scheme you a little bit. This is a very talented football team that we are going to play on Saturday. In all 3 phases, they're extremely balanced. Their front 7 are very active. They get downhill on you, and their secondary is going to challenge you. So, look, we all know the deal in the PSAC. There's no layups. We've got to bring our A game this week. And, this is Cal's first road test. They're going to be coming up to Sox Harrison here on Saturday. This is their first road game. This is our second home game. We're just excited about the opportunity to continue to build those blocks as you talk about. We have done a great job in our football team getting better every week. We've got a test in front of us. You had talked to Mike about this is the first PSAC West game. We look at the first 3 as exhibition bouts. If we're talking about the boxing and the MMA world, which I like, and prize fighters, well, this is going to be a heavyweight fight. This is the first test in our look, we're talking about PSAC championships. That's a real thing. We're talking about that's our goal. Cal's our first opportunity to see where we're at in the PSAC West.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Didn't they score 21 unanswered in both games?
Yeah. Well, they actually scored 24 unanswered in the second half against Kutztown.
When you look at that film, is there something in particular? I mean, to score 21 and 20, is there something in particular that they're doing? And then when they sort of go in lulls and not score, are they turning the ball? Is there a pattern to that?
Are you trying to set me up for the tee box with the reasons you win, reason you lose?
Because you got to ask.
Well, Joe, honestly,
you got to give the people what they want, Coach.
Well, so they're streaky, as you mentioned, and it's the big play when their offense can throw it vertically over your head, or last week against Shepherd, they hit 2 tunnel screens to the boundary to Willis, who literally just set up his blockers. He's got real speed, split the defense, and he's out. That's the deal where Cal's offense is a big play offense and their defense is a big play defense. They want to live in your backfield. They want to get you in 3rd and long. They dictate terms. And when they don't do those things, you can see where other teams are having success. So that's, Joe, to answer your question, that's where the streakiness comes in, is their feast or fathom based on those big plays.
Now, they are a legit 3-4 team. That's kind of, I don't want to say rare, but that's kind of rare in this league. But they
play multiple fronts,
but they've got
too.
a lot of size on that defensive line. A lot of size.
Well, they move. I mean, that's the biggest thing is they're athletic. Yes, they're strong. Yes, they're big, but they're athletic. They do a great job of exchanging gaps. They sink into multiple fronts, so they'll play the odd, they'll play the over, they'll play the under, they jump into a bear. So they're going to give you a lot of looks. Fortunately for us, we had experience in-game action against Duquesne who did the same thing. So that's going to be the challenge is our offensive line, our running backs, our tight ends, etc., our ability to identify those fronts, identify those blitz tracks and put a hat on a hat, and keep our quarterback clean and give our running backs opportunities to try to make some big plays.
Now, I wanted to ask, against all these multiple fronts, Duquesne is Duquesne, but it was also game 1.
Yeah.
So now you've had some, basically 2.5 games of the same offensive line, playing all the snaps, how much more comfortable, can you speak for them based on the experience and now the fact that they've done it together? I know 2 games doesn't seem like a lot, but it kind of is. I mean, we're talking about almost a quarter of the season, more than a quarter of the season. But if you're constantly changing every game, you got a different group.
Yeah, that's
to have 10 quarters in a row of the same guys, you got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to look at Craig here. I'm sure he'll look this up for me, but I don't know the last time that we went back-to-back games without giving up a sack and being over the 100 plus in the rushing column.
Yeah.
So, that's where continuity. I always talk about the offensive line like the secondary, Joe, because you have to develop chemistry. The communication is vital, and everybody's got to be on the same page. So the 10-plus quarters that we've had now with the same lineup, we continue to get better. We're going to continue to work, and we got to ID those things because ultimately that's going to be the key for our success on Saturday.
Now, certainly, when you look at where we will get to the 2 reasons. Don't worry, pace yourself. When you look at where you're at, and all things considering, and I don't mean record aside. I mean when we talk about like the Wegstroms of the world, and where you're at as a football team, and I don't even mean health wise. And are you pleased with progress? Pleased with the development? The old adage, if you're not getting better every day, you're getting worse. Are you okay right now where you're at in terms of big picture development?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at it just from a stat line, everybody's got their numbers. We've gotten better week in and week out, and that's our goal. Is I always tell our guys, and you just kind of hinted to it, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're never going to stay the same. This is a group that's getting better. We're excited about the opportunity with Cal coming in here on Saturday. We are going to practice with intensity, and our preparation this week has to be the best that we've had because it's the next opponent at hand, and we want to continue to develop, whether it's the O-line, D-line, secondary, receiver position, etc. We just want to take one day at a time, continue to stack those blocks, and we'll get ready for Saturday.
All right, now it's time. I know everybody's waiting. The 2 reasons why you win, the 2 reasons why you lose. I'm getting pretty good at this in terms of whereas I know why.
Yep.
But I do want to ask because, give the people what they want. Right. 2 reasons why you win, 2 reasons why you lose.
I mean, this one to me is going to be pretty similar to what it has been. And when you look at our wins and success, and you guys do a great job in pregame talking about it, our ability to be efficient and stay ahead of the sticks and not get in 3rd and long, and getting Cal off schedule and getting them in the 3rd and long, that's number 1. Because of the way
when you
that
talk about a big play team,
yeah,
predictability.
No question.
That takes a lot of the big plays away.
We have to win those choice downs, as we call them, 1st and 2nd down, and to stay on schedule and to get them off schedule. And then there you go, big plays. This is a group last year that literally big played us, and the score reflected that. When you look at their first 2 games, the big play has got their offense rolling. So limiting their big plays, us continuing to build and chunk play after chunk play, that's really going to be the tale of the 2 tapes here on Saturday.
Now, the one thing that we just learned, thanks to Craig Butler, it's by a slim margin, but I think it's incredibly impressive when you take in game 1 into consideration. You guys are leading the PSAC in time of possession. How important of is that a mantra now? Is that something that you sell to your team? If we, again, because you play keep away, you win.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is Coach DeMayo does a really good job of emphasizing that, along with the other offensive staff members, is, our ability to just move the football, do our job, be balanced, run it, and when the defense presents you with something, we have to take advantage of that. And, we've been continuing to trend in the right direction there. The funny thing is you talk about Saturday and like opponents, we played Shepherd 2 weeks ago. They played Shepherd last week. And, there's some interesting tales between the tape there as well. And, I'm excited to see the Fighting Scott Nation show up on Saturday for a big game.
Nulph, I appreciate the time. Thanks for everybody coming out. Of course, the staff here at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake in Edinburgh. Coach, you going to
go Burrow.
At the 15, he's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown!
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.